Hello and welcome to That Arsenal Show. My name is Adam Charles. I'm from the Fifth Official. Go and subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get started. If you didn't know by now, where the hell have you been? Because yesterday, Arsenal lost the North London derby in underwhelming, inspiring, and naive fashion. Naive has to be the operative word there. Because Arteta played right into Jose Mourinho's hands. It was almost as if he hadn't done his homework, almost as if he didn't know he was coming up against a man who has based his entire career on playing incisive, counter-attacking football. And even if he didn't know that based on history, all he had to do was look at the last couple of games to get a flavour of what Mourinho is all about. And we could see it, us lowly, ill-informed fans could see it, and you can put aside all the jokes about how Arsenal were going to get slapped 4-0 and how we shouldn't bother turning up. Just park that for a second. We knew that it was going to be the battle of possession versus no possession, counter-attacking football versus patient, slow build-up football. And even though we knew it could be our downfall, we still succumbed to the very thing we knew could be our Achilles heel. And it was either that, or he knew the dangers and didn't prepare accordingly for the dangers that we could have faced. And either way, to me, it is naive. And truthfully, there is only one man that can take the blame, or the majority of the blame, for our defeat yesterday. And that is Nicolas Pepe. Joking. Obviously, it's Arteta. But despite this, I'm still Arteta in. And it's okay. You can call me crazy. It happens all the time, even on the street. I don't mind. But I don't see how this situation gets better with a new manager right now. I can't see how the problems that Arteta inherited, funnily enough, it's around this time last year, get any better with a more experienced manager, or a manager that's won major trophies, or a manager that's bloody managed in Kazakhstan, or a manager that uses a low block, or that thinks Bellerin is rubbish. I don't see how, given the current circumstances, a new manager can address the problems that Arsenal face. And that's shifting the dead weight, getting good deals for those players that we sell, developing an extensive scouting network so we get access to the best young players. I don't see how any new manager is going to address these problems faster or better than Arteta is doing. Does that mean Arteta is the right man for the job forever? Probably not. And we can have a debate about that. That's fine. Does it mean we should call for his head? I don't know. We're going to get into it. Does it mean we should be given more time? He should be given more time. Maybe not. Again, we'll talk about it. But that's what we're going to find out today. And I'm joined by a very special panel, starting with Sam. How are you doing, sir?
Not well, bro. You know, we got slapped yesterday and we're throwing down the table. We're a banter club right now. Or more of a banter club than we ever will be.
Yeah. We'll get into that. Igal, how are you, bro?
As I always say, when we lose, if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry. So let's just keep it moving. Let's just try to smile, and you know what it is today. Let's do the smile challenge. Let's try to smile, guys.
I'm gonna cry, but I don't know about that. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, as good as you can be after what we just witnessed, mate. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll get
into it. And Cam, who I hope is with us now. Can you hear us, Cam?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry about that earlier, man.
No, that's all right. No problem.
When someone calls me off like an internet chat and that, it then puts it, for some reason, my phone thinks it's on Bluetooth and then I can't hear you. So it's weird.
Technology, it doesn't always work.
I know. Just as bad as Arsenal right now.
Yeah. And Arsenal were bad. Let's be honest. I want to ask Tom, because I know you wrote a piece on that today. Where do you think the game was won and lost for Arsenal yesterday?
The game was lost before it kicked off, is probably the most honest way to describe it. As soon as I saw the selection of Granit Xhaka, I was like, and this is coming from someone that has defended Granit Xhaka on several occasions. I'm not coming forward as someone with an agenda against Granit Xhaka. I have defended that guy in the past when I thought that the stick that he was getting was too exaggerative. But I'm sorry, Arsenal were coming up, and we can say it as Arsenal fans, like we don't like to praise Spurs in any way, but we will come up against one of the best counter-attacking sides in the country yesterday. So what do? We put the slowest man that we've possibly got and the worst man to face a quick transition in midfield. alongside Thomas Partey, which was just the silliest idea that we could have possibly gone for. And also, we decided to once again play Willian, who has not deserved any additional minutes at all ever since his first game, after, of course, that couple of assists he got against Fulham. But it's several tactical errors that we've made. We went into the game with the hope of trying to win it and trying to turn around our forms and fortune, but if you're going to do that against Spurs, you don't want to go out all-out attack, especially in a side that is struggling to score goals upon goals upon goals against a side that is going to hit you on the break effectively, just like that happened. We can see it. I know that a lot of Arsenal fans watching can see it. We knew what was going to happen, and what we knew would happen actually did happen. So it's a fairly simple one to break down.
Fair. I can't really disagree with you there. So I have to go to Igal next then. Do you agree with that analysis? Do you think it's a simple one to break down? Arsenal played into Tottenham's hands. They made it difficult for themselves by simply playing Granit Xhaka. Do you agree with that?
I think, once again, another thing that's let us down, you can't say we weren't in better attacking positions, but what's recently been happening with Arsenal is when we play defensive, we can't create. When we try to create opportunities, we can't defend. So, and when you try to shut up shop, it always comes down to a situation. Arteta can't get anything right, because if he tries to do too attacking, he's going to get it wrong defensively. We don't have the players throughout the whole squad to play a balanced attack and have a balanced team throughout. There is pinpoint errors, but there's another area you didn't mention. Hector Bellerin was very bad yesterday. No one can say that he wasn't one of the players that were poor. In addition to that, the men up front, Lacazette created many chances for Aubameyang, and Aubameyang was doing a Haller impression, almost slipping over the ball at one point. Like, honestly, the whole team played terrible, and at times it makes it tough for us as fans, even myself, who's super positive, to back these guys when they're constantly embarrassing us and putting mud on our face, bro.
I understand. I want to get Kesh involved here as well. Hello, Kesh. It hurts me. It really does hurt me, because I want to be positive as well. I really do. I don't want to look at my Sunday afternoon and be upset with people on the internet. Nobody wants that. Who really wants to argue with people on the internet? Not me. But yesterday, I look at Bellerin, I look at Xhaka, I look at the fact that we started a 40-50% fit Partey, and I just think, why are we doing this? We just make our lives so much harder than it has to be. But obviously,
you know what, Adam? On the thing of a 40%, 50% fit Partey, yeah, a 50% or 40% fit Partey is way better than Granit Xhaka at 100%, and that was shown yesterday. So this is how bad it gets. An injured player outperformed most of our midfielders and most of the team. We've got to take a long, hard look at ourselves, and you know what? We're a disgrace.
So you say that, but Partey, who was 40 to 50% fit, you could argue that he actually cost Arsenal a goal. So go on, Cam, talk to me.
Listen, I you know what's so funny? Yeah, I see people when I watch these Arsenal podcasts. Yeah, if I'm not on them, obviously, I see these comments in it, and they're always talking about, bring Claude or bring Lee Gunner and this and that. But I think people are forgetting. I've been saying this since my first podcast. I've been saying everything they've said, but more. I told you about Aubameyang. I told you from day one about Aubameyang. None of you believe me. Now what? He's proving my point. Bellerin, why is he even playing for us? The guy is a fashion icon. He's not a footballer. He'd rather be in his fashion than football. And he has the audacity to come out and criticize us fans. When you play like that, come on, man. And you got Partey. I'm not being funny. He shouldn't have started yesterday, but he did cost us that second goal. A smart footballer knows, even if I'm injured, I have to stay on this pitch, knowing just to make up the numbers, because it could have, might not have, but it could have made a difference. We might have not had that goal go in. We won't know now. But then at the same time, I don't rate Mikel Arteta. Go, push. Like, come on, man. You're meant to be his manager now. Look, we are Xhaka.
I think your connection is going. Hold on. We're gonna mute you for now, which doesn't even seem to be working. I'm gonna remove Cam until he comes back and his internet. dialect right now. But anyway, as we said, Kesh, you heard what he has to say. I think Cam's made no secret about his desire to get Arteta out of this team and for him to no longer be the manager. And I really did give it a long and hard thought yesterday. I really, really did. And I tried to argue for and against. Do I want Arteta in this team? Do I want him out of this team? Do I think he can actually take Arsenal forward? And I've come to the conclusion that it's not going to get any better. Like, it really, really isn't. And am I crazy for thinking that, Kesh?
No, not at all. Like, a club of all standards shouldn't be down in 5th, 15th, 14th, wherever we are. I feel it's gone so bad now that it's only a matter of time before the tide's going to change and then you have to get rid of him. Really and truly. Like, if we're looking at this from a sensible point of view and taking Arteta hat off. For me, after they do decide to do that, we as fans need to focus our energy at the right place, because I see a lot of fans saying we need to get a Rafa Benitez, a manager you can get the best out of this team. But for me, as an Arsenal fan, that isn't good enough for me. The only thing I can see that bringing is us being around 7th or 8th team that doesn't push on to win anything. Like, it's really that bad at Arsenal that I just don't see us ever going on to win a title. Like, for us to go on to win a title, we need to get to the root of the problem. I'm not saying we can get the owners out, but we need to apply pressure on owners.
Right.
I know their owners watch this. I know someone at the Cronkies watch all this as well, bro. Like, they watch all this AFTV and Arsenal. I don't tell me there's no one that works for Cronky that don't watch, because he gets a lot of stick thrown at him, innit? Mm-hmm. So I'm pleading with you. If you're not gonna help the club out and you're not gonna, like, you yourself, don't hire no one to do your job for you. You do it yourself. You see where the root of the problem is. Get your football knowledge up. Yeah, not your NFL knowledge, your football knowledge about Arsenal. See us how we are as fans. Yeah, you can see the pain we're going through. Yeah, and you deal with it. Because getting someone else to deal with it and then coming back to it, I have to deal with it now. I have to sack him, or I have to do this, I have to do that. You're basically showing you're a bottle job yourself.
But let me ask you something, Kesh. Let me ask you something. If I'm Ronald McDonald, right, and my expertise is in managing and not flipping burgers, why would I come down to the level of flipping burgers and frying chips if I can get someone who's better at doing that than me?
No, bro. Listen, like I'm saying, if this was Peter Hillwood, he would have. But he was involved with everything. But Peter Hillwood, you think if we had Peter Hillwood now, and all of this would have happened? No, none of this would have slid. He never let no player go down to 18 months, less than 18 months on his contract. He used to give them the contract talks, yeah, when it was the last 2 years to 18 months. And if they didn't want to sign a new contract, he shifted them on. He told Wenger, they're not signing a contract, shift them on. So you can't tell me, bruv, at the end of the day, yeah, this does come down to the Cronkies. It does. It comes down to the whole club, to be honest, but it starts with the Cronkies. We're not going to get anywhere unless we start with the Cronkies, unless the Cronkies either leave or fix themselves up.
Adam,
and start doing stuff for themselves.
Where the problem lies with you, cool. We can get rid of Arteta tomorrow. But what I want to ask Arsenal fans is, are we going to then focus our energy where the problem is? Or are we just going to stop there and just say, yeah, we'll take a new manager and that's it?
But this is our problem. This is the problem about most 90% of Arsenal fans. Yeah, you got Arsenal fans like you have the few like us lot, yeah, that we're calling for it, yeah. But then 90% of the rest of the fans, they're just gonna be happy with the management. They'll be like, all right, cool. Arteta's left. All right, we got this manager. All right, Cronky's look like he's doing something, but he's not. He's not.
All right.
And people are saying manager this, manager that. Like I said, he's the one that hires them, so it comes down to him.
Okay, let me bring Tom in on this one.
Man, Cam, I understand your anger. I really do. I just think that it's in the wrong direction. I think that ultimately Arsenal are in a situation where they're just too late right now. Arsenal have only just got the 100% control from the Kroenkes. Before that, you look at what happened before, no investment. No money ever came in. Arsenal was self-sustaining, and all of the transfers that we did was done through what we made, through income, revenue, whatever. Arsenal now have 100% control from the Kroenkes, and in the last 2 windows, Arsenal have received investment from Stan Kroenke's KSC ownership, whatever, to invest in Pepe, and in last summer to invest in Thomas Partey on deadline day. Other than that, and around that, I get that you want the owner to be involved in doing what he's doing, but he's not. I frankly do not want Stan Kroenke anywhere near decision-making at this club because he doesn't know football. I don't want him anywhere near it.
That's my point. That's the point I was trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, isn't it important to think about that? It's important that he delegates. It's important that he employs people that know what they're doing. But I would agree with you. The decisions that have been made previously about the
Tom, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a
Go
question,
on,
Tom?
Go for it.
Sorry. I'll let you finish. Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but
Go for
I just want to ask you a question. Every person he's delegated to, has it worked?
No, that is you're 100%.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to get your football knowledge up, leave, sell the club. Unfortunately, I'm not even talking about an investment no more. I'm not even getting onto him like that because like you said, last 2 transfer windows, he has actually put money down. But at the end of the day, that's not good enough. If you're just, you need this, okay. But you don't know what's going on. You don't even know what's going on at your own club. It's like you owning a shop and you don't know what's going on. People are coming in robbing you, but you won't know.
No, but Cam.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Cam, let me ask you this though. Out of everybody here, I feel like you're the only person who said that you're Arteta out. Knowing what you know and saying what
I wasn't Arteta out, bro.
So you're not Arteta out.
I wasn't Arteta out. But at the end of the day, I said it last week when we lost, innit? There's no point me saying Arteta in or Arteta out because I don't want to become a club where we're chopping and changing managers. It's not going to work for us. We're not that kind of club.
There we go.
So I'd rather keep Arteta, see what happens, see what he can do in January. Because I'm not being funny. I don't want to hear it no more. We need 2 cams, not 1. We need 2 because our midfield is so terrible. We got no one. This side-to-side football, Igal. This side-to-side football is not working. This down the left side football. If you're gonna do that, might as well confuse the whole team.
From what we're hearing, they're gonna go in, and this is gonna be a big January. This is gonna be probably the biggest January they've had in a long time because we need it. You know what I mean? And I believe.
We were linked to Lionel Messi in 2011. What happened to that?
Listen, realistically, they have already started contract negotiations and talks to get the deal over the line for Szoboszlai, right? They're going to look at. All they have to do is go to them and pay that money. It's 25 mil. They don't have to pay it all at once. Right? So that's 1. 2. They've identified players. They've identified players, and this is the first time.
No, I'm trying to. I didn't know. Sorry, Gav. Can I? Sorry. What? 25 million to who?
Hold on. We shouldn't even be at the point of negotiation. The deal should be done already. That's what I mean. This club is not serious. This deal should be wrapped up. It doesn't even have to be Szoboszlai. Deals. We should be identifying players and saying we need these players to come in, and these deals should literally be wrapped up already. We shouldn't be in the stage of negotiating. Look at the dire state of squads in. Are you telling me it takes you, 3-4 months to realize that we need to have these players wrapped up already?
But bro, this is not FIFA career mode.
It doesn't matter if it's FIFA career mode. If this was a Man United, if this was a Chelsea, these deals would have been wrapped up already if it was in our position.
What I'll say to that is, I think the response to that is that in the summer, if you look at what David Ornstein has said, and if you can have your opinions about David Ornstein all you like, but he's come up with some bloody relevant and reliable information in the past. He has said on one of his Ask Ornstein shows so far that Arsenal's summer business, which is where we're likely to see the biggest amount of movement happen because we're going to see Mesut Ozil, Mustafi, Socrates, David Luiz, etc. all go. Big wages are being moved off. Arsenal are well ahead of their plans and their schedule of trying to get those deals done. But I agree agree in the sense that January is huge for this club in the short term. You look at the long-term picture, that is where Arteta's system is around. It's around what we build in the long term. But football is based on results, and we need to sort the short term out. Szoboszlai is not anywhere near close to happening. The situation with Szoboszlai is currently, based upon the information that we have, that the only club that have made an offer so far are RB Leipzig. That is the situation. The information that came out today in regards to his contract is that it takes 15 days before the end of December if you want him to tell RB Salzburg, that they want him to go. You then have to get in a situation where you have to lodge your bid for him before the next 2 weeks after the first date that he tells them that he wants to go. That hasn't happened with Arsenal. Arsenal haven't even put an offer on the table for Szoboszlai. It's a very simple deal to do because it's a one-off payment of his release clause. But other than that, it doesn't look like it's happened. I don't expect Arsenal to get him in the end, which I think will suck because he's an awesome player. But I don't think it will happen. But Kesh, we don't ultimately know whether or not negotiations go or not. Not everything is put out into the public domain, and we don't find out about them until much later down the line. But I'd say wait for the summer. That is the biggest thing. If we don't do anything, I'll completely get on board with you and say that the club has messed up. But until that point, we don't actually know anything right now.
Okay, so
Tom,
what is
and I love that. But I just want to go back to Cam's point, and he's even drunk as well. Love that, Tom. I want to talk about the fact that I don't know many managers or any owners that act like proper vehicles at the club. I look at the same as Roman Abramovich, and I see that he's a passive CEO, a passive owner. Like, would it not be worse? Would you not think it was even worse if an owner came in with the amount of money that they have and said, okay, well, I'm here, I want this, I think I know better than anyone else who's got football knowledge, and I want X, Y, Z done. I feel as though the way it's being done is the best way to do it, and I can't see why getting somebody.
When did the Cronkies take over?
You tell me.
06.
06, yeah?
Yeah.
When was the last time we had a good season?
06.
06, I don't know.
05.
No, 08. We had a decent season.
05.
No, but that wasn't
05. No, don't go there. Our
It
last
doesn't matter.
good season where you could say we were title challengers was 05 when we came second to Chelsea. Yeah? That was the last time. Cronkies came in 06.
So just to be
We
clear,
have, listen, every season from 06, the points that have dropped from the top, from whoever's top, at that time it was mainly Man United and Chelsea keep on swapping, yeah, but mainly Man United. Every season we were getting further and further, even though we were getting top four, fair enough, the points were getting further and further and further away. From 05, the only 2 seasons I can really say we had a half chance was 08 and was it
2015?
Yeah, literally. Apart from that, we have literally gone downhill from 06 and we're going down, and my points are being proven because we're 15th now. Look at all of us Arsenal fans complaining, yeah, because none of us Arsenal fans unfortunately can get on the same board with each other.
Let me say something.
It's the truth. We're always going to have fans, yeah. It goes with every fan base, innit? But the problem is, yeah, if all of us fans could actually come together as one, yeah. Right now, I'm not saying right now because right now I'm just fuming at this whole situation at Arsenal, yeah. But if we could all actually come together as one, we could actually do something. And even though you might not think so, imagine millions of Arsenal fans and not one of them are disagreeing with each other. Millions of Arsenal fans around the world getting together, and you're telling me we can't do nothing.
We can.
Come on.
That's almost as naive as Arteta's tactics yesterday, though. When you,
I'm not trying to even be naive, bro. I'm not even trying to be naive. At the end of the day, yeah, like I said, we're not gonna get nowhere because the root of the problem is the Cronkies, and unfortunately, it's the fans that try and ban other clubs.
Okay, so what is more realistic to do? Have somebody steer the ship and get rid of all this get rid of all these players that are running up their contracts, get rid of all of them and try to replace them with quality players? Do we trust Edu, Arteta, the people that are in charge right now?
I don't trust no one.
A lot of these people A lot of these people are saying get rid of Arteta, but they're not really saying anything about the players. The same people who are criticizing the players week in, week out, we know the root cause of these issues are the players. We can change every single player, but unless we buy quality players in to replace them, that's where we go wrong. Because to me, it's still criminal that Willock is Aaron Ramsey's replacement. That hurts, bro. How are we trying to get rid of guys with quality and replace them with academy kids? We can't do that.
It's down to the Cronkies. That's the issue, really, because they're too stubborn to spend any money and they want cheap replacements.
Sam, they have spent money. Like, I was, you know what? Yeah, I was you 2 years ago. I was you 2 years ago, innit? I was you 2 years ago, but then 2 years ago they actually came out and started looking like they was spending money. So I started giving them props for that. I was like, well, finally, after 10 years, you're actually doing something. But
for me,
yeah, sorry, Sam, keep going. Sorry, Sam.
For me, it comes down to the culture and the backroom staff and the ideas. Like, what are your director of football doing? Why are you buying a Nicolas Pepe and not identifying you got a young kid like Saka coming in? Like, why not go and get a cheaper but a more quality player than Pepe and spread the money across?
Because we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't accept that, would we?
No, we would. No, Adam, we would. Adam,
we know we would.
Adam, no.
We know we wouldn't accept.
If we got David Neres today, we would take that over Pepe.
That's the thing about watching football. Us fans, we're not watching enough football and looking at players. Like, we just get appeased by the board. Oh yeah, we're paying 72 mil, so this player is the shit. He's not the shit, bro.
Fair enough. But Sam, to your point, you said that the Cronkies don't spend money, and yet, as Tom rightly pointed out, they spent £72 million on Pepe. They put up the cash for Thomas Partey, even when, to me and to a lot of other people, it looked like the deal was dead. I can't even remember when it was exactly, but maybe 2018, we put up £92 million for Thomas Lemar. We put in a bid for that. So the money is being spent. Surely
not in the right way.
Okay, so surely you must agree it's just not being spent correctly, rather than it just isn't being spent.
This is where I think comes back round to the situation we're at now. And Cam, this is where I'd say that, and I know I can sense how angry you are. I get, and I understand it. I would say that look at the last year where Edu is in place. Now, I think Edu's got a hell of a lot of stick that he doesn't necessarily deserve. Raul Sanyahi was the worst person that Arsenal could have got in at the club because he put us in bed with so many agents and got us so many wrong signings in the short term. We're not actually thinking about the long term and putting square pegs in round holes. Yes, I've pointed out that Stan Kroenke invested in Nicola Pepe. Was he the right signing? As Kesh pointed out, no, of course he wasn't. We spent £72 million on a player that was going to add to an area that we desperately needed to focus away from and look at the central part of the midfield and the defence before we started looking at the forward line. Now we're in a situation where we are starting to see the issues get resolved. It's a horrible situation in football where we live in a footballing world where short term is what we focus on. Football happens so quickly and so week by week that you have a result against Spurs, it's horrific. You rewind a few weeks, that result against Manchester United, how great we felt after that. But we fast forward and there are perpetual issues that are surfacing. The point being, though, is that Edu has identified that Arsenal desperately needed a centre-back and a centre midfielder. We went out and got arguably one of the best central midfielders that we could have got in Thomas Partey, and we signed what looks to be one of the signings of the summer in Gabriel. If you chuck out Arteta now, you go back to square one. You get in a coach which has no players that was signed under his jurisdiction. You get in a situation where you then need to, I understand, get him to the experience level where he's going to start making the right choices through making mistakes, which every coach will do. But you could go down the route of getting an Ancelotti. But look at Everton right now. They've won one game in their last 7. It's not all roses just by going out and getting in a really experienced manager. You need to stick with this right now. See that what the good that we are doing. Go into the summer where we get rid of all this deadwood, get rid of nearly £1 million per week off the wage bill, and see if we do invest correctly. Because the only case study and the only evidence that we have of Edu is this summer. Last summer, when he came in and we got Pepe, Raul was still here and infecting the decision-making processes at the top. So we've got now a situation where Edu is in control and has made correct signings that we've been crying out for so long. It's going to be really shit for a year. I get that. But we ultimately need to look ahead at the possibilities that could happen. But Arteta, that doesn't resolve Arteta from making mistakes. And I will.
Do we need to sell
hold on. What I would say, yes, we did well getting a Partey and Gabriel. I think if you look at them, you can see they're a big improvement on everyone else that we got in our squad. But then we're still making poor decisions and offering players more than what they should be paid. We're in a stage of a rebuild, but then we go ahead and offer Aubameyang a lucrative contract, Willian a lucrative contract. Now we're stuck with those players when we would have been in a better situation if we had gone and got rid of those players and replaced them.
Haven't we just sacked our contract negotiator though? Do you not think
Yeah,
that's
who's
possibly
finally
down to that happening? Like we basically what we did with Aubameyang is that we gave him a contract for the things that he did, not for the things that he's going to do. That is the mistake that we made. We've offered a player who's turning from 31 for the next 3 years until he's 33. We've offered him a contract to give us an output which is impossible for him to achieve for the years that he's already been here. And that's a mistake, and arguably why one of the reasons we've got rid of Husfarmi, and the why, and this is where we go back to Cam's point about Stan Kroenke, is that he's employed this guy called Tim Lewis, who's doing these investigations within the club, and that is clearly having an impact because we've seen so many people that were redundant in their effectiveness in Raul Sanyehi, in Husfarmi, and they're gone. We've recruited badly. We've got rid of a large part of the recruitment structure. Cam, what I would say to you, and I really want to get Cam's thoughts on this, like, do you see like the positives and the hope that there is in some of the decisions that have happened over the last, say, 2 months?
No. To be honest with you, I won't. It's too really short of a term. At the end of the day, the last 2 months has been our worst 2 months. So, if anything, that's just proven my point in a sense, if that makes sense. But to be honest with you, and I can't really answer that until maybe next year summer when it comes down to summer transfer, because I want to see what he does this transfer window. I want to see if he brings any players in. I don't want to be talking, oh, we're close to this guy, we're close to that guy. About year in, year out, we say this, we're close to this guy. The papers say we're close to that guy. This news feed said that. Facebook said this. We get gassed. And then what happens? Oh, when it actually does come out on an official website or Sky Sports, there's been no official bid. I don't know what we're talking about, but Arsenal ain't even bidded for me. So what's all this rumors about? And it's like, this is the problem. So I can't, like I said, I wanna see what he does in January. I want to see what happens, and if Arteta can actually bring in 2 quality cams. I don't want to hear nothing else. Cams. I don't want to see nothing else but cams, bruv. Because at the end of the day,
is that why your name is Cam? Sorry.
He loves the Cams.
No, it's not even that. Yeah, all jokes aside, yeah. You man, I don't think you realise, innit? Or maybe you do. Yeah, but we need a cam. You cannot tell me we do not need a cam in this midfield, because with a cam, he will open up that midfield area. He will make the runs that he needs to make. Like who was it the other night? I was watching the podcast, the Arsenal Tottenham preview one. Yeah, and one guy was like, "Was Özil done?" All right, 1 assist, fair enough. But he created most chances under Arteta.
That's absolutely fair. But I just want to make it clear. You've said you want to see what Arteta is going to do, which means you need to give him time, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not on Arteta like that, innit? Like I said, I was never Arteta in from the first goal. I was never, when he came, I wasn't really that gassed about it. I was thinking, I don't know, we should have gone for a more experienced manager, but let's see what he can do, innit? I'll give him his chance. But like I said, it's been nearly a year now, and we haven't. The only thing we've seen in improvement-wise is 2 all right signings. We haven't really actually seen any improvement at all on the pitch, because on the pitch we're actually doing a lot worse than what we were doing under Emery. And I thought we weren't going to get worse than Emery. I used to call him a pelican. That was his name, Pelican Emery for me. Well, but we're actually doing worse under Arteta, a guy who worked under Pep Guardiola, who's meant to be this master tactician. So you would have thought he would. I'm not saying he would have brought that Pep style. But at the end of the day, you're meant to be this guy. Yeah, all right, cool. There's this hype about you, but if you can't handle it, don't sit back and chat shit on interviews. Come out and say, listen, this is happening, that is happening, because he's a yes man right now. He is a yes man. He's a yes man for Edu, bruv. What Edu says, he will do, bruv.
But I disagree with that.
I disagree. I don't agree with him going out and saying the things that he's saying in the interview, because what he's doing is he's throwing himself under the bus, and then you're going to have fans like us who's going to come out at him. but I do feel there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that's impacting how the players want to play, impacting what they want to do. Like, there's lots of things going on. Like, you got little clicks in there. So I feel he's got so much on his hand. And yes, he's an inexperienced coach. He's finding it difficult to deal with these situations. But I felt we should have given him the best platform to go and do the job that we hired him to do. And we haven't offered him that platform to do that. Right now, he's just struggling. And he's got no one there to actually help him out. Because I don't believe that the likes of Steve Round and all that should be at this club. Like, he was a David Moyes assistant.
Listen,
I agree with that.
what I would say about Arteta is...
Sorry, guys. The reason I had you on the screen for so long is because my dad just came and left me this message. I don't know if you can see it. It says, out with Arteta, in with Poch.
Oh, Poch.
No. He's a bigger bottle of drug.
Poch is a failure, bro.
Dreaming.
But yeah.
Poch is a failure.
Yeah, sorry, what were you going to say, Gal?
Yeah. So, honestly, when it comes to Arteta, I feel like he's been telling us what the issues are. He's been giving us whistleblowing and telling us that these players, they don't care about football. Some of these guys, they care about other things going on in their personal life. They care about being a celebrity. They care about the prestige of being a footballer and having all the luxury that comes with it. And he's trying to get rid of some of those players that are in the club that not necessarily caring about trying to win games, not caring about what actually happens on the pitch. And to me, Arteta, what he's seen in the club right now, if we get rid of him, it's going to take us longer for the next manager to address the issues that are going on. He's currently seeing the issues. Let him address the issues. Let him get the quality players that we need to replace them. He has seen the level of quality you need around you to have a team that wins the Premier League. He was part of he wasn't the manager, but he's seen the quality of players that he had around him at Manchester City. He knows what kind of levels of quality you need to win a league. I'm not saying he's the man who's going to win us the league, but when you need to identify players, it's the whole board, the manager, everyone needs to have that eye and they need to see what it takes. And he's already seen there. He's been there. He hasn't been the manager, but he knows what it might take to get there.
Fair enough. Sorry. Just let me ask. And this is for all of you who are Arteta in. And Brandon, I'm going to come to you in a very second because I know you're Arteta out. But why should Arsenal fans who've seen Arteta sign Willian and give or be involved or facilitate the process where David Luiz has got another contract, why should they give this man more time? Why should they give him more time when he's playing Bellerin and he could be playing Maitland-Niles? What's the explanation for that?
The only thing I would say about the Willian deal, yes, he as a manager might have wanted Willian, but he's not the one who's decided to put Willian on that pay package. So that comes down to people who's. But
he identified him as a signing. So regardless of the pay,
but Willian is a signing.
His performances haven't been great.
I get what you know what, Adam. Yeah, I get what you're saying, innit? I get what you're saying.
No, but the thing about Arteta is, if you sack him, we'll be in the same position next year. Listen, we'll still be in the same. No good decent manager want to come into Arsenal right now.
The reason why a lot of fans are onto Willian is because of the 3 year that he's on and the sort of money he's on. If Willian had come in and he's on, say, 80k a week, we wouldn't really be onto him that much. And let's face it, like Willian, we can't expect one player to come in and save our team. Like Willian wasn't this great player at Chelsea, so why are we looking at him and expecting him to save our season?
Fair enough. Brandon, what have you got to say, mate?
I mean, mate, this manager's got to go. I'm sorry, he's got to go. Do you know what, right? I completely get where everybody's coming from, yeah? Our players are not good enough. But this manager consistently picks the same crap players week in, week out. And that's what wound me up about yesterday's performance, right? It wasn't so much the fact that I expected us to beat Spurs, because I didn't. But when you've seen Hector Bellerin playing at right back instead of Cedric, a player that you have signed...
He didn't sign Cedric. He didn't sign Cedric. When people keep saying that, he didn't sign Cedric.
Okay, well, all right. Maybe Cedric's a bad example, right? But what we do know is he did choose to keep Maitland-Niles rather than accept £20 million from Wolves. The guy's not even featured since.
Brendan, we do not know that. We don't know that.
Right? Granit Xhaka, who we all as Arsenal fans agree is not good enough to play for this football club. yeah, and he's playing in the midfield
He's
over El
England
Neni,
international.
who, look, El Neni is not of the quality and the standard to play for Arsenal Football Club, but he's played a hell of a lot better than Granit Xhaka this season. It's just
Agreed.
same mistakes.
I agree.
that
I
we're seeing
agree.
week in, week out. This
I
manager's
disagree
got to go. He's not good enough.
But I still don't think yesterday's
Brandon,
result would have been
Kesh
different.
and Tom, sorry, Sam, I'm gonna come to you as well. Kesh and Tom, why is it that you don't agree that Cedric was signed by? Well, I mean, he wasn't signed by
Go
Arteta.
Kesh.
But
Kesh can go on this.
go on, Kesh.
Listen, Cedric was at Southampton. He was not playing. He's got the same agent as the likes of Willian, and we know Raul was dealing with these agents. It's just Raul's signings. These are Raul's signings. Mari as well. Like, come on, like, look at these players. We're signing players that's not first 11 starters. We're bringing
Kesh,
them in.
there's one thing I need to add to that, though. There would be one thing I need to add to that, though. I get what you're saying because it is true, but then why would he then give them a full contract in the summer?
But it
We
wasn't
signed
him.
them
It wasn't
on
him.
loan. We
It's
signed
not-
both of them on loan. No,
He's
we
not
did
in
sign
charge of
both of
that,
them
though.
on
It
loan.
wasn't him.
Bro,
If the
it
manager
wasn't
didn't want to
him.
play,
Raul wasn't there in the summer, bro.
Raul
Raul
was
was
there
there.
in the summer.
Raul
Raul was
was
there at the start.
They signed the deal before the City game.
if the
Raul
manager
was there.
didn't want a player, he would turn
These
around
man
and
signed
say,
the deal
"I
before the
don't want this
transfer.
player."
But these man signed the deal before the transfer window even started, bro.
Yeah, that's why
Raul was there.
he left during the window. They signed the deal. If I'm not mistaken. They signed
My
the
mistake.
deal
then, my mistake.
before
I'll hold my hand up on
lockdown
that.
came back. Before
Before
lockdown came
lockdown,
back.
they signed those
Fair,
deals.
fair
I
enough.
thought Raul would have
It's
left by
been
then.
a
I'll hold my
week
hand up on that one. I thought Raul would have left by then.
Yeah, Adam, on my point, Brandon, if you want Arteta out, who do you want to bring in instead of him? Who do you want?
Allegri.
Do you
See-
honestly think Allegri would come into the club? Or Brandon, that was Cam that answered. Who do
Listen.
you want, Brandon?
This is all besides the point, right? What we've got to realise as Arsenal fans is this manager is not good enough. And I completely understand where you're coming from with the board. I don't trust this board to hire the right man either. But that is where us as Arsenal fans come in. We have to band together and make sure that this
Right.
board puts the correct man in charge.
Right.
Because we're going backwards under this manager. We're just going to keep trusting him and hoping that things get better. They're not getting better. They're getting worse. They're getting worse because Arteta, I don't blame the guy as such for taking the Arsenal job. I blame the people who hired him in the first place. But, yeah, this guy hasn't got experience to get us out of this mess. The job's too big for him. We just got to accept that.
Agree.
He's been
But
set up for
fair
failure.
enough,
though.
fair
Yeah,
enough.
but do you think any
Sorry, hold
elite
on.
manager will want to come to Arsenal right now? Looking at us. Listen,
Listen,
look at the
Adam,
previous ones.
bring that comment up. That Tim comment. Tim,
Is
this
that
guy,
this one?
bro. How can you say you're blaming Raul? The guy was taking money out the club. The guy was doing dodgy deals. So of course I'm gonna blame him. Why should I not blame him?
And what really frustrates me sometimes about like the whole Arteta in, Arteta out is that like there's a perception that you can only have one opinion of it and that you can't accept that mistakes are ever made. Like Arteta, who I can want to continue in charge, made so many mistakes on the weekend. He made a ridiculous, which I started off the show talking about. But the thing is, and Brandon, I understand like that the logical step is you can't sack the team, but you can sack the manager. Maybe things will change. But there is no solution in which a new manager comes in and things change like that. It's just impossible because you've got the same players at the club and it takes time to gradually get out the ones that are an issue and get in ones that are going to improve. And what I've been going on about is in the last 6 months, Arsenal have made a difference to the squad in the transfer market. We have made a difference. The issue is that there is still too many problem players at the club, and that is why we're seeing continual regression. There is an element, I admit, of an inexperienced coach that has made mistakes, but he will learn from those errors in the next 6 months up until the next window, in the summer I'm talking about, and we might see more change. There is clearly an emphasis that things are moving in the right direction. We have wanted so long for a manager that would sort our defence out. How many people that wanted Wenger out wanted Diego Simeone to come in and change the complete structure of how we play football?
Me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of them.
Yeah, and we've now got a manager that is focused on improving us defensively, which before the Aston Villa game, Arsenal had the best defence in the league. We have made mistakes this season. I'm not denying that at all. There is no way that we can say that Arteta hasn't made errors this season. But the problem is that if you chuck him out now, you go back to square one by getting another coach with a different set of ideals, but with the same group of players. You then go to the next window where he gets 2 or 3 players that he's able to, because that's all you can really do at Arsenal in a transfer window, is get 2 or 3 players. But that isn't enough in one season to see a big amount of change. So what will happen is because we've still got loads of problem players under a new coach, things will not continue to get better, and we won't be challenging for the title again like so many people want us to do. We'll be maybe around mid-table again. Maybe we'll get into the Europa League. If we stick with the same person for a prolonged period, you've got the chance to build up a group of players that the manager actually wants at the club and can make a difference with in the long term. I'm not saying, again, that he won't make mistakes. He will. But you have to...
Tom,
do you not
fair.
understand what I'm saying, Brad?
Hold on. One final thing. First of all, you lot smash the like button. There's almost 1,700 people watching. Please make sure you hit that like button. Brandon, final word from you before we bring on a couple other people because they are waiting.
I just want to ask Tom a question here, right?
Go on, Brandon.
Next week at right back, who would you play?
Ainsley Maitland-Niles is who I
Okay.
would play.
And in our midfield, would Granit Xhaka feature in the midfield?
No, he wouldn't.
Right. So as Arsenal fans, we can all see that these two players are not good enough. But what really gripes me about this manager is he continues to pick them when he's got other options. Yeah. It's the same mistakes week in, week out that's costing us. And I don't think he's good enough, mate. I'm just being honest.
And I don't judge you for that at all, because he's made mistakes. So obviously they would think that he's not good enough. Adam, go on. I know you need to get other people on.
Nah, no problem. Brandon, thank you very much. Next week, sir. Goodbye. Sultan, where's he gone? Sultan, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want to say?
Listen, I'm Arteta out.
I was about to say, get this guy off, please.
You are Arteta out. Why are you Arteta
This ain't
out?
reactionary.
Okay.
Listen, I've been Arteta out since last season, so this is not a case of me being reactionary or anything. When he won the FA Cup, I still wasn't convinced by this guy, and I could see it from back then as well. And listen, I get what the guys are saying. They want to give him time and stuff. And listen, I'm going to say this now. Even though I want them out, I'd actually be willing to give him time if I could see improvements. That's the reason why managers get time, when you see improvements. But come on, we're 15th.
You can honestly say that in the time Arteta's been here, because it's been a year. I think it's been less than a year. You can say there's been no improvement that you've seen. Honestly.
Oh yeah, no. Listen. Of course, defensively, he's improved us. I'm not going to lie about that.
There has been an improvement.
Yeah, of course. But there's two parts of the game.
Team. Away from home against a big team.
Listen.
What about that?
Okay, go on.
Listen,
yeah.
Of course, he got some good results against United and stuff, which I was impressed. But I'm looking at the overall picture here, and in my opinion, I just don't think he's good enough. And listen, people say he needs his own players, his own transfers. Wait till he gets his own players, this and that. I just think even if he does get his own players, I just don't think he's going to be good enough. Let's go to the biggest issue, creativity. Or go on.
Can I say something, bro?
Go.
I feel like it's easier to say, oh, he's not good enough based on what's going on right now. But then you can't. I want to know what you think he's been doing wrong. You said creativity. Creativity is not his fault, in my opinion, based on the fact that he can't go and tell these guys where to play the ball, how to play the ball. He can tell them how to do certain patterns of play and things. But at the end of the day, if you don't have the players to get you to unlock the key, you're not going to do nothing. We don't have the quality of players to unlock the key. Yes, the Mezzo Ozil situation, you can get onto that. You can get onto that if you want, but we all know we cannot ignore the fact that was not his decision. That was from the top. We cannot say that was a footballing decision. We all know that. We're not dumb.
See this problem here, mate.
That's my big
This is not even an Ozil issue. This not an Ozil issue here, lads. The problem with Arteta, and this is why, and listen, we're linked with Szoboszlai, Awar, and stuff, and if they come in January, could change things, But just the issue what I have is it's about the intent of how you're gonna attack. It's not about personnel per se. Like I'll give an example. Brighton. Who's Brighton's number 10? Who's Southampton's number 10? You kind of see what I'm saying? These guys attack. It's about. I just think he's too rigid in the system. He doesn't let the players express themselves. You kind of get
you see that, but listen, Arsene Wenger did the same thing, and you wanted him out. So what the point is, Arsene Wenger, his main philosophy was express yourself, and we did that. And you know what? 99% of the fans wanted him out at the end, and now we've got someone who's the opposite. Now the fans want him out. So where's the middle ground here? Because it's a lose-lose situation.
Fair dues.
Listen, final balance, mate.
If I get someone else, go on.
I just think, if I'm being real, I just don't think he's good enough, and we need to get a new manager, an experienced one. It's simple as that.
I agree, but disagree.
An experienced manager will come in. That's the thing.
I'll be honest with you, boys. Yeah, to be honest, Arteta's big problem. Yeah, Arteta's big problem, and this is why I don't understand why we compared him to Ole and Lampard. Yeah, because both of their managers, I'm not saying they was managing great clubs before. Lampard was only was manager for a year, but he was manager of a small club. Arteta, this is his first job, like manager job. It's too big for him. I wouldn't want to get rid of him. Like I said, I've already said it. I want to see what he does in January. I want to see if he brings the players in. And then but you can come back to me if I'm Arteta in or out by September next year after the summer transfer.
Adam.
Yeah. But the problem is we have, is literally, I agree, he's rigid with his attacks, but I also agree with we can't get rid of him, because if we do get rid of him, that's it. We're going to be back to square one by this time next year, back to square one, talking the same shit, but we're now in a risk. We're now at a risk where if we don't get rid of him, would have Arteta out people, right? Because what happens if we do get rid? I'm not saying we're going to, but what happens if the Nottingham Forest or the Leeds happens?
Not gonna lie, you lost me just a little bit. Kesh, you go next, and then we're gonna hear.
What I would say about that statement that he's too rigid, I don't think that's necessarily the case, because if you look at how we play against the European League team, yes, it's a lower opposition in quality, but the players play with a lot of freedom in those games. But when it comes to transitioning that over to the Premier League games, I just feel that these players ain't coping with the pressure of playing in the Premier League. Like, you see the form that Willock's got in the European League, he can't bring that over into the Premier League. I think it's a thing to do with quality. And then when you say Wenger, so I see someone put a comment there, Wenger didn't take us to 15. If you actually look at Wenger's last 2 seasons, he was dropping down a place. If Wenger had continued, he would end up in the same position, without a doubt.
Listen, you know what the hardest thing to do is? The hardest thing to do is to go out and replace the players. We all can say, we can all be backing Arteta, but if they don't go and get rid of all the players that are their contracts are ending up, and the guys that their contracts are ending the following year, if we can somehow find a way to shift at least 4 to 5 players out of this team this year and another 4 to 5 next year under Arteta, that's when we're going to see results. Until then, we're going to still have the same players. And you know what? When you have a player getting paid 150K a week, you have to find a way to get him into the team. That's basically what the situation is right now.
Fair enough. Go on, sir. Take it away.
Well, I called it. I knew they were going to lose. They had too much quality for us. And it sucks as an Arsenal fan going into every game, not even having any confidence that you were going to win. Egal, I told you, Son, world-class player, man. I know defensively we could have done better, but you can't take away anything from that finish. We don't have a single player on our team. Not even Aubameyang can do what that guy did to us. And you know that Harry Kane was going to score. I mean, we keep going back and forth. Let's get it real. Ozil is not the answer to this situation. Before he was cut out of the team, he wasn't doing anything for us. I, however, agree that if it wasn't Arteta's choice, right, he had to have put pressure on the board to get a central attacking midfielder. So even if it was out of his hands, he should have put pressure on the board to get a player to replace him, because he knew that we were going to have this issue, right? I'm not Arteta out, but really playing Xhaka and Holding and Bellerin for me, I mean, I can't defend that. We know time and time again these players are absolute garbage, and they keep disappointing.
I'm sorry. Let me just address this though. Robert Holding. And I wish I knew his middle name, because I'd say that too. I will be the first to abuse that man if necessary. I promise you. But what's he done wrong?
He hasn't really done nothing wrong. It's David Luiz and them, man. But he hasn't really done nothing wrong, man. He's had a few mistakes, and I can't
He's been thrown into a bad situation. You can't ask
the
much
thing
from
is,
him. Everyone around him shit.
Listen, Rob Holding has not taken the initiative to take the man out against Aston Villa when he was hesitant to take that moment has now shown that he hesitates sometimes, and instead of going out and being commanding as a centre back and taking the man's.
Are you talking about the time where he bounced up and down and memes?
He did it again against Son. When you really think about it, he could have got closer to Son and maybe tried to close the angle down and force him to go.
That's Bellerin's fault. No, that's not Holding's fault. That's Bellerin's fault. That's Bellerin letting him
go. Take the attention away from Bellerin.
Bellerin,
but don't take the attention away from Bellerin. That was Bellerin's fault, bruv. If you're a good right back, you should know your cover.
We all know Bellerin is
and I have to disagree with the Ozil thing because at the end of the day, the stats don't lie. Even though he only got 1 or 2 assists, under Arteta, still today, and he hasn't played a game, he's still, after Pepe, has created more chances than any other player. And he hasn't played for the last 3-4 months.
Let's just move on about that.
I'm saying about what my man's saying. I was talking about what my man was saying here about Ozil and all that. I'm not saying Ozil is the problem fixer, but we're not getting any cams. And yes, it is down to the Cronkies again. Yeah. Sure. Why are we not selling him off then?
There's no one who's going to pay his wages.
One person is going to.
So what's the point not playing?
I'm gonna mute you, sir. Thank you very much, Sam. You have your final address that you can say, and tell everyone where they can find you as well.
The final address is, you know what? We're in a sticky situation. We're in a dark place. We just have to move on, pick ourselves up next week. But listen, we have to put pressure on the Cronkies and invest, but they never will. Honestly, as Arsenal fans, we need to stop fighting with each other and just focus on the main issues. That is Samuel4002 AFC on Twitter. And EGTV Egal, family too.
Fair enough. Egal, what's your final point?
Honestly, if I was the board and I was Arteta right now, I'd be looking at finding a way to get rid of all these guys their contracts are running up that have been wasting their time at this club. And I am done, sick and tired of backing players who are frustrating me and making me have egg on my face after games. Yeah, to me, I think we can definitely go out in the window and prove some of the doubters wrong and get some players in. I hope we do that. We need to, and that is that could possibly turn around our season. But hey, you guys know where you can catch me, the Kid EG on Twitter and EGTV on YouTube.
Lovely, Tom. What about you, mate?
I mean, you can only say so much. At the end of the day, I don't think people are going to change their opinions too much. The only nowhere, like we can cry and moan all we like. He's going absolutely nowhere. The club is invested in him. They're moving forward with him. So all I would say is that be critical all we like. I have. I'm sure you have. You've been plenty critical at times, people, but just support the guy as you would any manager at the club. You can find us at The Green and Talk TV. We're doing our own podcast tonight at 8:30. But yeah, thank you, Adam, for having me on. And cheers, boys, for the good chat.
No problem. It's a pleasure. Kesh, what is your final point and where can they find you?
All I want to say is us Arsenal fans just need to humble ourselves, realise where we're at, and just stop with all this banter. Just embrace it. That's all you can do right now. Embrace it. And as for certain other YouTubers that's chatting shit, selling t-shirts, making money off the club, Troops, you're absolute prick, mate. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's KeshAFC04.
Lovely. African Guna, where can we find you and what's your final point?
Yeah, my final point is we have to realize that we're not the team that we used to be. As I keep saying, this is a culmination of failures for many, many years, and it's just catching up to us all at once. Arteta isn't giving me any reason to back him anymore. I'm not switching yet, but I'm saying he's not really helping himself. I think forget the league, focus all our eggs into the Europa League, buy 2-3 players in January, and let's see if we can make it into Europa League. Because for me, the season is pretty much over, and as fans, there's nothing really to to look forward to. So yeah, hopefully things can change, but I don't really see it changing. You can find me on Twitter at LAfricanGooner.
Fair enough. And Cam, go on, mate. Final point, where can they find you?
Don't worry, Arsenal fans. In 5 to 10 years' time, we'll be back. Don't worry. Right now, we have to suffer this meme FC. Don't even call us Banner FC. We've taken that. We've demised for the past 15 years, and it's going to be the same for the next 5 to 10 years. I'll be honest with you, but we will come back stronger. Hopefully, in the next 5 years. Hopefully less, but don't worry, man. Cronky's still out though, unless you're gonna, unless you're gonna do bits, Cronky. Yeah, my God, bro.
Because he's definitely watching. Yeah, and my name's Adam Charles. I'm from the Fifth Official. This actually made me feel a little bit better today. I was really upset today, but it's cool. I feel better after this chat. This is like therapy, and that's what I need every weekend. Yeah, you can find me at TFO Show on Twitter or the Fifth Official on YouTube. My final point is that yeah, I said it's peak last week, and it seems it's even more peak. It's a problem, but yeah, we'll be back again next week. Let's hope that Arsenal beat my beloved Burnley, because if they don't, it's going to be a bittersweet moment for me. I don't know what to do. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye.